Before getting to work using your Japanese chisels, you're going to have to set the hoop so that it is in the correct location on the handle, that when we mushroom the ends, it is fully covered. So let's go over how we do that now and show you the process. The process of setting the hoop is quite simple, but you will need a few things on hand. Firstly is a steel-faced hammer with a hard wooden block to act as an anvil. Secondly is something to knock the hoop into place. Here I have a plywood block which I've drilled a hole in, and it's sized so that the wooden part of the handle can fit inside, but the hoop kind of touches the edges. You could also use something like a 12-point socket or just a piece of pipe. It just has to be sized so it will press down the hoop but not the handle. Lastly is a bit of water to just help soften the fibers before we mushroom it over. When setting the hoop, you really want the handle to stick out past the ring by roughly the thickness of the hoop itself. So in this case, it's about 2.5 millimeters. To get the hoop to seat down correctly, we just need to compress the fibers around the handle so that the hoop can get pressed down into its final position without tearing the fibers. For this, I use the hammer with the block of wood. Remove the hoop and begin compressing the fibers by hitting it with your hammer and rotating it between strikes. This will compress the fibers, and you will have to just periodically check it to see how it feels. Once the hoop is fitting in a way that is snug but feels like it just needs a little bit of extra pressure to slide into its final place, we can set its final place using our little jig with the hole in it. It's a good idea to have the chisel on a bit of scrap wood so you don't damage your bench while doing this, otherwise you'll end up with some pretty unwanted holes in my workbench. Just ask me how I know. So that's the hoop set in place, but we're not done yet. We still need to mushroom over the ends of the fibers so that it fully covers our hoop, and it's a pretty good way of getting rid of some stress. Before starting, it's a really good idea to soften the wood fibers on the end there with some water. So remove any finish from the end grain and just add enough water so it saturates those fibers. Let it sit for a few minutes before getting to work. It will just make your whole experience here just that little bit easier. So begin working over those fibers by striking it with your hammer. Now remember, we're trying to mushroom over the ends here, so bad hammer technique is almost a good thing in this case. Hitting it off center or kind of on the corners will really help start splitting those fibers apart, and it will just make it go that little bit quicker. Eventually you end up with something like this. The fibers are fully covering the steel hoop when you're looking at it from the end, so it's locked in position, while simultaneously protecting hammers and other striking tools from the hoop itself. The process I went over here is one that is intended to be used throughout the life of the chisel. So as the handle wears out and gets more exposed, you would just cut the end off and repeat this process to set the hoop lower down on the handle. Anyway, that's it for this video. So like always, if you want any more info on the products shown in this video, there will be links down in the description. All right, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.